What we've had to do with our studios is answer a number of quite unique problems. The studio has got ceiling-to-floor glass, which have the view not too dissimilar from the one behind me here, of out over London and over the Thames. Because of that, obviously everything within the ITV studio has to be daylight balanced, which then led me to the opportunity to lighting the whole of the studio via LED. The one that immediately caught my attention was the Selador Lustre and Vivid units. What I set up was a test between a 1.2 HMI and a single cell Vivid unit. We discovered, much to most people's surprise, that the LED Vivid unit was brighter than an HMI. I was able to then confidently say that using the LEDs was going to give me the output level that I required for a shot in front of a window with the sun behind it. Using the red, the green and the blue channels was made a big difference to the colour balance that you were looking at. But you could be much more subtle and much more interesting by using the other four colours. It meant that two people sat next to each other could end up in lamps with differing white balances, but ones that suited the skin tones of their face, which meant everybody sort of were shown at their best on our sofa at the best level in the best colour balance. And it was instantly accessible and instantly tweakable. During the course of the programme, because we're on air for approximately 2.5 hours, the light levels outside of the studio change and the colour balance of the light coming into the studio changes. And it means that with those 7 colour LEDs, we can track all changes going on outside to make sure that inside the studio remains looking at its best. And hopefully people at home don't actually notice that there are changes going on. Obviously the LED is cooler and more user-friendly than an HMI lamp would be, but also the glare and the flare in their eyes is vastly reduced, which means for them much more comfortable sitting looking at a camera, looking out towards the lights all the time. They can read their porta prompt. The auto cue on the front of the camera is much easier because they don't have that direct flare coming at them. I made the decision when I first planned out my rig that my key lights, my main lighting for all the positions, would be Vivids double stacked to give me the spread and to give me that extra punch if I required it. And then backlighting and fill lighting will be done with lustres. We have got what's called smart glass behind our presenters, which dims across the range of how bright it is outside, and it's controlled by liquid crystal. Its dimming range, however, isn't neutral. It doesn't go to a sort of what we would expect a neutral density filter to go to. It heads towards the blue end of the spectrum. With the camera settings that we have, we were able to take all the blue out of the picture that the camera was seeing, which meant that the background out of the window started to look natural because the blue from the window went away. Of course, that means that everybody sat in front of the window inside the studio goes a bright orange colour. We were then able, very quickly, just a couple of minutes of tweaking, and we were able to reinstate all the blue in the LEDs that were lighting them and take all the red and the amber out of the LEDs that were lighting them. And within a very short space of time, we were back in a situation where we had pictures where people looked natural, the skin tones looked natural. We could have gone on air quite comfortably with that level of lighting and that colour of lighting, and everybody at home would have thought that it was absolutely normal and would have looked perfect, whereas everybody in the studio, to the eye, was looking sort of a bright green colour as if they were under the sea. The camera couldn't see that, and so we got rid of our problem with the windows very quickly and easily, and that's another extra tool we've got up our sleeve should we have to do that. It's there and we know we can do it quite easily. For that, it was definitely the right choice for us to make.